Ah, Jesus Christ, like the 50th time I died. That's it. Nope, no more, no more. Rage quit.
Conan noobs!
Hello once again, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to Wargame European Escalation. It's multiplayer mayhem. Oh yes. And this is what I like to call newborn victory. In fact, since I had started this game and went through the single player, I have not played multiplayer since the beta, and so now it's time to kick ass. This was a match that took place just a little while ago, and I since then went into the replay mode that comes with the game, and we're going to view it. The reason I like to do it this way rather than live is because you can actually see the battle unfold from both perspectives, and you can see the entire map with no hidden, there's no hidden line of sight or fog of war or anything like that. I can down here with the options see either the enemy or me, and it'll hide it accordingly, except it doesn't seem to be working now. Actually, this is from our view. And everything like that, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. Down here, the speed controls and the fast forward and rewind settings, along with, I think, restart, and then along with the typical controls for the game. But anyway, this is the map, Hell's Highway, and this is a standard map. I don't know what the standard game mode is, but it's pretty good. You can see our enemy over here, is his name. He's setting up with a couple of BMPs, T-64s, a couple of Conqueror's Bad Fur Days, a couple of artillery units. Looks like he's got two of everything, along with two Tunguska. Those are it's a combination of a anti-aircraft, like a Gatling system with missiles on it. It's a deadly, deadly son of a bitch. The T-72s here are quite deadly as well. But we'll speed things up then. And we'll see what happens when things roll out. You got typical Euro supply trucks there, and it looks like everyone's getting ready to move. Over here, I travel a little lighter in my standard matches. Here you can see just the a few command cars that all split out to the higher level goals, and then flak panzers, the Geopard in particular, to take care of any fast-acting not artillery, but helicopters that might come out. My Gazelle out front, taking a look and seeing what he has. I noticed already that he was moving to the left for Bravo, and so I prepare accordingly. A couple of Sheridans have been called out, a couple of VABs transporting what I believe to be French anti-tank weapons. Artillery already firing here from back here. We'll slow it down a little bit, show you guys a little bit more of the action. Called out the AMX AU F1s, which are some extremely highly accurate artillery. And a helicopter shot down there from him. He's hiding in this tree line, as you can see. And the Tunguska, I think that's how it's pronounced, Tunguska artillery, anti-aircraft artillery, took out that Gazelle, unfortunately. So it's time for a little bit of payback. The AMXs are getting ready to fire up. They're aiming, and they're going to load and fire here in just a second. Come on, boys. Oh, yes. There goes the artillery shells flying across the map, and we have a hit right at the rear. Looks like I was trying to fire at any command vehicle that might have hit the back trees, but it looks like he moved all of his vehicles up, or at least anything that might be hiding back there. I had assumed that where his BTR-70A is now, I assumed there was some piece of equipment back in this area. So as you can see, I've spread out a lot further. VABs are coming up to help secure Echo against any tanks. Everybody knows that the Russians love their heavy tanks, and so that's what I'm preventing, or at least trying to prevent, is him using that. Bradley CFV coming out, the recon unit, going to the left to try to peek at anything that he's calling out from his reinforcement point, and it looks like a stun on the BTR back here. Meanwhile, his MST A-S, or the 2 S-19, it's basically artillery. The Russian artillery, as you can see there, it's just self-propelled artillery sitting in the back. He has not called out another command unit, and he wasn't really that low of a player. He did have quite a few ranks, so I don't know. Usually, at least I was expecting more of a fight. As you can see over here on the right flank, we still have the Flak Panzer and M. The command vehicle sitting over there. I'm not going to read off all the letters and numbers, but again, getting ready for a possible tank attack. I've sent out my VABs a little bit more, And it looks like we actually have a... Oh, I see. I called out a Gazelle, I believe, to that area. Another Gazelle has been called out just to spy on what they have. VAB now engaged, and the Milan troops have been attacked. That was our anti-tank. The VAB was destroyed by the T-64 and T-72s. They're opening fire on what I thought might have been another vehicle there that may have been destroyed. It's a possibility. I believe it was, because there were 3 here. Milan's now been completely deployed. Group here, the French infantry now routing through the forest, but are getting ready to fire at the, and it looks like Gazelle was taken out once again. Milan troops getting ready to fire at those T-64s in there, and that artillery is hitting hard. Those T-72s are stunned and have begun to rout, but they stay put in the forest. Conquer's Bad Fur Day sitting up on the hill, and supply trucks supporting them as well. Over here to the left, Sheridan tanks are retreating just a little bit. At this point, I was feeling like he was going to attack. As you can see, he has quite a bit of tanks, and if he was to roll across the battlefield, the only thing really there to stop him would have been a few Sheridans and a anti-tank squad, along with 3 AMXs, which I didn't really move into the best of positions. However, I got closer to increase that accuracy, and I knew that the moment they moved, I would see them, and so I figured that they would be able to get out of there right away. The Uncle Fester over here, Mephisto, or as I call it, the Uncle Fester, moving to the left. This is a really nice unit. It's actually, if you can see up close, actually we'll track it. It's a really cool anti-tank system. It's basically an anti-tank missile on the back of basically the mystery machine from Scooby-Doo, and it's really cool. It moves fast, it's quick, and it's got a low profile, so you can hide it almost anywhere. So I put it up here just to get ready to move into defense mode for the AMX, which has been moved since the artillery now is opening fire. The MSTA is now opening fire on my artillery, counter artillery, and so now I've begun to move it along with the Jupiter trucks that are in support. The AMX is now getting ready to fire again. More than likely opening fire on that forest line again there where you see it routing, and that's exactly what it is. Supply trucks have been moved down there probably to help repair a few of those vehicles. Everything's being routed and stunned. Let's get a close-up, shall we? Oh, that's not a good day. That's not a good day. A lot of vehicles been damaged, need more refueling. Oh boy, a lot of damage, a lot of fire. Not a good day to be Russian. A lot of that artillery is hitting in the back too along the road, so an escape is almost impossible. A lot of hard hits, but no deaths yet from... artillery coming in again, another counter artillery. My artillery has already begun to move, and as you can see, we were right here, and that's a pretty good hit from that distance for the MSTA. BTR still sitting where it is. I-9 recon unit now being moved into the battlefield. Going to be trying to spot anything that I have an Echo. Seems like he may be preparing for an assault. Now at this point, I'm thinking that he also has a lot of units prepared somewhere on this left flank, and I do eventually send out a recon unit to the right because I do believe that he must be planning something back here, but as you can see, he's not. All the action's condensed around the hill at Bravo, and I've also moved in some more defenses here. VAB with Milan troops guarding the forest and the, I guess you could say the chicken coops here on the edge of the open farm field. Good defensive position for those units, and the Bradley CFV is going to be detected by this MI9 if it stays there any longer, and I believe it is at this point that I decide to keep it there until it's engaged. And as you can see, the MI9's kind of snooping back and forth. He's definitely waiting for me to attack, but again, with me not knowing what he has behind, and that artillery now coming in to hit the Bradley, I'm assuming that he's preparing for a large vehicle rush. So it is somewhat of a little bit of a standstill for this time, just because I don't want to bring any units in yet until I have a little bit more income. The two heavy areas, Delta and Echo, have not yet been secured. Only Foxtrot and Golf, which are both worth 2 or 3 points every 4 seconds. A good point about Foxtrot rather, is that it has the reinforcement zone to counter Bravo, but Echo yet is not going to be secured yet because it is too high a risk of an area. I'm also fearing enemy choppers, definitely trying to deal with that MI9 by bringing in the Flak Panzer. Artillery again firing. The Jupiter trucks are almost out, but as you can see, really great accuracy with these French artillery. Attack power, explosive shell power is a really important thing, but it doesn't mean anything if you can't hit if you cannot hit the target. 1 or 2 lucky hits in this forest probably would destroy these vehicles with the larger artillery, but my goal with this artillery is not to destroy him, but to keep him fearing it. You know, I don't want him to attack. I'm basically, you know, pushing him and being like, "Come at me, bro. Come at me." So as you can see up in the upper left-hand corner, he's bringing in some more supply trucks towards the rear, probably to perhaps supply the MSTAs again. Artillery continues to fire on both sides, and Ural trucks heading towards the back to rearm, refit, and refuel. Conquer's Bad Fur Day still sitting up here on the hill, and some of the B-72s being brought back. He must have taken some losses at some point. Counter-artillery coming in again. Only 1 Milan troop left. That one brave French soldier being sent into the woods to fight basically 19 Russian tanks. The odds are against him. Chieftain MK5s are being brought up now. The Mark V being brought into the open battlefield to deal with a few of those tanks. Chaparral also being brought in to deal with that MI9. And it looks like we've also locked down, like an a-hole. I've done a little bit of a babysitting move on the left flank here with the Milan troops guarding anything that he calls in for Bravo. But he has not yet captured Bravo, so there's no real point in bringing those there. But it is a good counter. Well, I guess an early counter just in case he did capture it. The Chaparral now opening fire on that MI9 and did destroy it. Boom. Nice hit. Tungsta's moving around. The heavy armor is moving back and forth. Some of it's retreating. It looks like now he's decided to bring all of his units to the higher ground. Chieftains are now keeping a good line, good distance from that front line. As you can see over here, I did bring the Gazelle over to check out what he was doing. That was just me calling that unit out, and it should appear on the battlefield just now, and there it goes. So we're checking out the right flank just to see what's there, but as you can see, he's all condensed to the left. And of course, what's the most important thing in battle is to keep your enemy guessing on what you're doing. As far as he knows, I am doing the same as what I think he's doing. He must think that I have 1,000 tanks ready to strike, and he's going to sit up in that hill and support with artillery and heavy tanks, and I'm kind of doing the same. I'm keeping some of my more valuable units in the rear because everyone knows, look at the score there, 170 to 260. He's ahead by just destroying 2 Gazelle helicopters. If you have a higher level unit out on the field and it gets destroyed, like for instance, if someone shot down one of your highest level Apaches, boom, that's 300 points right there plus, or a higher level Abrams. So you definitely want to keep the valuable units in back and only use them to kind of be snipers on the higher level units. And as you can see here, artillery coming in continuously now on some of these Conquer's Bad Fur Day units. We'll now zoom in and get more of that artillery action. Looks like the Russians are finally getting ready to retreat now. A couple units done, a lot of them need repair. In the group we have the T-72Bs, T-64Vs, BMP-3s, and a couple of Conquer Bad Fur Days, along with that the anti-aircraft artillery that hit. Nice big explosions. Oh, counter-artillery again coming in from the Russians. AMX is firing up on the hill, already being moved. Jupiter, looks like we did lose a few Jupiter trucks from a nice artillery hit on his behalf, bringing his score up to 290 and mine up to 220 from a couple of hits and a couple of good hits on the Russian armor. Coming up next, it looks like we have a little bit of a push towards the center. As you can see, we have the Bradley fighting vehicle and a couple of vehicles over here on the right. Chieftain being the center of the spear. These chieftains could be thrown right in, making a nice triangle there with the Milan and the Bradley covering both flanks, along with the additional Milan here, just in case he comes from the left or comes from the right. They'll be able to see and engage, and the chieftain will take anything that comes up the center. Looks like we have a PT-76B coming in, along with a UAZ and some more artillery. He's now now he chooses to capture Bravo. He now deems it to be important, and actually he's sacrificing Alpha and bringing in the command vehicle to capture Bravo. More supply vehicles now refilling and rearming anything that was lost, destroyed, or damaged in my constant artillery strikes. Still trying to strike on those units. What I'm really trying to do is I wanted to use some air, and I was really trying to destroy any of those Tunguska's anti-aircraft artillery, and those can be quite deadly, as you could see, against Gazelles and scout helicopters, and that's really what I needed here. But unfortunately, it's been a while since I played, so I really wasn't using all of my head here. But that PT-76B moving in from the back along with that artillery here, you can see, and we'll lock onto this unit here and kind of follow him around the battlefield. I can turn around here to the back. He's coming in to do a little bit of scouting. He can easily hide in some of the smaller areas here. As you can see, it's a real small tank with a real nice front weapon to it, and can definitely do some damage. Can definitely ruin your artillery or capture a few supply trucks if you're not paying attention. Good scout from the Russians. Unfortunately, scouting a little too late on his part. All he's going to see is a wall of Allied armor, NATO armor, and you'll see here that the Tungsta will be brought in again to engage my Gazelle that's snooping around once again, and I don't think he'll be as successful this time. This thing is literally on fire, both of them actually, and he's bringing them into the woods to the left along with his F.A.Q units to hold that left tree line on the left flank here. Right flank totally unsecure, but what I usually fear is that the enemy has a real good control of this area just behind Bravo, and this is basically their area. He could call in enemy unit, call in his own units at any time, and as you can see, it looks like I am now hitting the UAZ that's back at Alpha, and also damaging that FOB there, or at least threatening him to not use it since it's under constant fire. So let's get to the action, shall we? It's going to be a little bit of a standoff since I was saving up. Any units that are flashing are in cover. As you can see, the artillery in Jupiter is not, but all other units are in some really good cover other than the Chieftain, which I was trying to use it as a come-at-me bro tactic. I figured he might lure some of his tanks out, and then I could bring in some air and really rain it down upon him. So now you see all the units are moving up, definitely on that left flank. Left flank's going to get engaged. Bradley can't be seen by any of the F.A.Q units over here, so I move in a little closer, and actually destroying a lot of that cover with me, and I eventually did lose that unit. Artillery coming in with a vengeance now, pounding on his positions, and we'll slow it down now that we've got a little bit more action. Artillery pounding away on these units. The heavier tanks here have been routed. Artillery firing from the back here. I'm now going to try to move and counter his artillery again, and I'm gonna move probably over to this area. Nice thing about this is that the whole rear flank now has supplies, and we won't have to do much in terms of having supply lines, because it's all defended on the or rather it's all dependent on what's 12 trucks back here. So this side and the left and right flanks can have supply trucks. What I like to do though is these Jupiters are kind of linked to the AMX, meaning whenever they fire, I'll have the artillery then go to where the trucks are, so that way they can refit and they're not bunched up for a unfortunate strike from the enemy. Artillery now trying to counter his artillery, and I'm believing it's over here. Eventually it'll fire more to the left, but as you can see, he's using the ridge here as a good area for cover for his artillery. More supply trucks coming in and coming out. Oh, almost a good hit there. Probably did a little bit of damage to this one tank. As you can see, they're shaken and worried, and they're continuing their fire as well. Pretty good accuracy from these units too, as far as I can remember. F.A.Q unit still here. PT-76 moving up. Bradley about to engage him. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of a firefight. Bradley engaging with his autocannon, but not firing his tow. Looks like that unit may have been destroyed. Let's go in for a quick look, see if we can see any fire or flame. Probably was most likely destroyed. The Bradley now controls this intersection and any vision of that intersection. Bad move by the Russian to move across that plateau and back up. Unfortunately, he's not going to have a good time defending the back end of a hill. More units being called in now. More supply trucks, more supply trucks, more supply trucks. My God. Supply trucks for everyone. And look at that. Jupiters are now being mobilized to refuel and repair any units, especially the Apache that I brought out, setting up a forward I think they call them, not FOBs, but I forget what they're called, but a refuel and repair zone for the Apache in the back. I thought I would use it more than I actually did in this round, but enemy artillery getting ready to fire again. It's basically now become a come at me bro situation. He'll fire his artillery, and I'll fire mine at any units that I can see. So the left is defended, the right is defended. I have a Bradley here. The purpose of now using these Bradleys is just to get an eye on any straggling tanks. If I see a couple of units coming out from cover, that's when you bring in the Apache to destroy them, especially when they're in the open fields. So let's speed this up for the major engagement. We'll multiply it by 6. Artillery's going to go back and forth like crazy. The Gazelle's going to scout. There's going to be a lot of scouting. T-64B out in the open. Bradley actually destroyed it, probably with a tow and with the help of the Chieftain over here. Artillery now being thrown to the back. You can see a lot of fire back there. It looks like a few of the supply trucks were hit. And it looks like a couple of those artillery units were also badly damaged. Artillery now hitting on the woods. Oh, and he surrendered. Yes, that's right. So the Bradley there was destroyed, and just as the major engagement was about to begin, all of these units kind of encircled him in a crescent moon shape towards the back, and not too bad of a defeat. Look at that, 1453 to 1500. So he was only behind by less than 50 points. Not too bad at all. So anyway, friends and fans, there will be more episodes of the multiplayer of Wargame European Escalation coming up soon. Continue to like, continue to watch, subscribe, comment, whatever you like, and definitely I appreciate those comments in the comment section below. And I know for the last few episodes of Wargame European Escalation, the single player, I was going to have a question of the day, and I suppose I'll start doing that for the multiplayer as well. So for my question, video question for the multiplayer is, what aircraft unit do you like to play with the most? I definitely love, for the NATO, the Gazelle Scout Chopper, and for the Soviets, I absolutely love the Hind, especially the Hind D, since it was featured in such games as Metal Gear, and it's just a killer beast. So let me know in the comments down below, and again, friends and fans, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So until next time,